There are two deadly August nights that have lasted more than 30 years. The murders of two teenagers on Torrey State Beach in the late 70s and early 80s remained unsolved and may be linked. There are still no clues to the killer or killers, but now maybe someone is willing to come forward. Here's Lynn Stuart.
The attack was just south of Lifeguard Tower 7 there. Changed my life forever.
Jim Alt walks the shores of Torrey State Beach 33 years after he and his girlfriend were attacked while they were lying in sleeping bags on the sand.
Just a summer from hell.
For the first time, he brings his girlfriend's sister to the place where the 15-year-old took her last breath.
Survivor's guilt, geez, a big thing for me to deal with.
At 17, Alt was beaten over the head and wound up in a coma. His girlfriend, Barbara Nantais, was brutally murdered.
They had straddled me in the sleeping bag with my arms to my side, so I couldn't fight. I couldn't protect Barb. I couldn't protect myself.
More than 3 decades later, their attacker has never been brought to justice.
Never in a million years that I think I'd still be here. With the technology we have today, this should have been solved a long time ago.
According to the medical examiner's reports, Nantais was found spread eagle in the sand, beaten, strangled, her breast severed, and sand stuffed in her mouth.
She was very beautiful. She loved the beach. She lived for going to the beach.
As decade after decade has gone by, her family is desperate for answers to who and why.
I just thought, murder does pay, and it makes me angry. So I get angry a lot, thinking someone got away with this. You know, she got her life taken away and someone else got to gloat over it.
Several years later, another teenager was killed right here on this beach with very similar circumstances, leaving many to question if there was a serial killer.
14-year-old Claire Huff was found 6 years later in 1984 with a breast severed and sand stuffed in her mouth. This time, cigarette butts were left behind with DNA evidence that could belong to the killer.
The similarities are just overwhelming. You can't dispute that there's some type of connection there.
Investigators say there isn't any physical evidence that links the cases, and the Huff case goes unsolved as well.
To me, there's too many resemblances, too many likelies there.
The attack has left Alt wounded for life with a loss of memories from the blows and post-traumatic stress disorder. Despite the scars, his resolve has not faded with time.
I'm not going anywhere until we find out who did it, until somebody's dead, buried, behind bars. I'm not giving up the fight.
If you have any information about who was responsible for the death of Nantais or Huff, you can receive a $1,000 reward. Just call 1-877-EZ2-TELL. You can remain anonymous. For San Diego's Most Wanted, I'm Lynn Stuart.